everybody, and welcome to the broadcast with Amanda, Shandy, and Colleen. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Welcome to the show, everybody. This is season 7, episode number 28, episode number 298. How is it going?
Good.
Pretty good.
Excellent. Excellent. Although we are recording this episode a week early, as you're hearing this, I am in my final few days in Nuremberg, Germany. I hope I'm having fun.
I think you will be.
I'm sure
Germany's pretty great. I think you'll be having a great time.
It's supposed to snow there. I was like, oh my god.
Boots.
If I don't have snow boots, actually.
I mean, just any waterproof boot will
That's
do.
a good point. That's a good point. I'll
I
have
actually
to.
just got a new pair of waterproof boots in the mail today from Timberland. I'm pretty excited about it. I normally don't
Spectacular.
have like anything waterproof ever, and it's been kind of problematic.
Yeah,
So
same.
I'm pretty excited.
That's awesome. I have hiking boots that are waterproof, but I take those in the sewers, so I don't think I want to pack them.
Yeah, I mean, if you weren't leaving like in 2 days, I would recommend Timberland is still having a sale, and they've got some pretty cute stuff. It's not just like work boots.
Maybe I'll go to like TJ Maxx or Marshalls tomorrow and see what they have.
That's true. That's probably a faster way to.
I mean,
to do that.
at this point, it's probably my only option.
Yeah.
So, but yay! So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Hope you've all been enjoying my Instagrams this week.
Indeed. So, are you going to go to Munich?
I think so. So I misspoke last week. It is not a 45-minute drive. It is about an hour and 10 minutes by train.
Okay.
So
That's a day trip. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I thought too. Also, and I really want to do this, but Jay is not so keen on this because of the logistics. It is only a 4-hour train ride to Prague.
Oh,
Not Prague, Vienna. Vienna, sorry. It's 8 hours to Prague. It's only 4 hours to Vienna. And I was like, man, there's a 6 a.m. train. Wouldn't it be awesome if we got on that train? We got there at 10, and then we like stayed until like 4 o'clock, and then we could come back and be home by like bedtime. And he was like, but that's still
a very long. That's a very long.
A lot of
day.
train.
yeah,
That's a lot of train.
but we can like sleep on the train.
I don't know. I'm with Jay.
Yeah.
I don't know. I would.
I mean,
do it.
or you could just spend more actual time in the place that you're in.
I
Yeah.
know, but I'm gonna be there for like 7 days, 8 days, like 6 full ones. I mean, it's
I would
alright if
instead do like an overnight in Munich and then come back instead of like
Yeah, but we have the hotel.
hightail it all the way to another country and back.
I know, but it'd be so cool. Just be like, yeah, I went to Austria as well. I don't know. I mean, we're not going to because I'm not going to go by myself. So this is like a 2 people have to consent kind of trip.
But what about Salzburg? Because I know from Munich to Salzburg, that's a more doable train ride.
Okay.
So I don't know how far it would be from Nuremberg, but Salzburg is like one of my favorite cities in the entire world.
I shall look into it.
So,
I'll
doe
look
a
into
deer, female deer. It's where The Sound of Music was filmed.
Yes. I'll have to look in then. I'll have to look into where that would be then, since our hotel is right by the train station. So, no excuse to not do fun things. I don't know. I'm still very anxious, just about leaving my children and the country for that long, because I have never been apart from them for the length of time that I will be gone for. But it will be okay. I guess.
They're in good hands.
They're in good hands. They're, they're good and solid. They're old enough. They can handle it.
I guess.
You can FaceTime. It's like the time
know.
difference is not that extreme.
I know. I'm still going to miss them, though.
Well, of course.
Oh, haircut. So I got my hair touched up today. And it was funny because I didn't get like a cut or anything. So when she was done like rinsing the dye out, like, it all out, she was just like, all right. I was like, oh, all right. You're right. I guess I didn't pay for like the blowout and all that. But then it was awesome because she let me sit with one of those like dome thingies over my head, and it was just heat to dry it. And that was pretty awesome.
Nice. It took me a second. Thank you for saying that it was to touch up on the dye. Because when you said you got it touched up, I was like, what is that?
I know I had the exact same thought process. I'm like a trim?
Wow. Yeah. Like,
No,
Is
just
that like
these
what
things.
adults do with like real haircuts?
no.
Like
My
I know there's
roots.
like maintenance haircuts. I go the every 6 month route, but I know like normal adults do like regular maintenance haircuts.
No,
It makes
I was fixing my roots before I go to Germany. I probably would have waited another month to do it if I wasn't like going on a trip filled with selfies.
That's fair.
But anyway, all right. So this week we are talking about the sex lives of college girls, season 2.
Yeah.
Yep.
What'd you ladies think?
I enjoyed it.
Yeah. I loved it. I really enjoyed watching it. I couldn't put it down. And, the ending is like, damn.
Yeah.
It's like you don't want, there's some things that you don't want to have happened, but you're also like, okay, this is going to be how they like grow and, so learn things and become better people.
Yeah, so
It's an episode finale for a show that definitely knows it's getting another season.
Exactly. Yes. And then, you're also like, oh yeah, this is college, like when they're supposed to be like becoming adults and learning these hard lessons. I did have a couple of questions. I was telling Colleen off air. I watched it like pretty quickly towards when it first came out, and then I was going to rewatch for this episode. Spoiler alert, I cannot bring myself to rewatch things that I've just recently watched.
I get
So I rewatched the first episode and the last episode to kind of like get back into it a little bit. And from those, I had a couple of notes. My first question is, and I asked this because I went to a college that did not have, like frats or sororities, and didn't have sports teams. So humble brag, it was a pretty ideal college experience. So I'm wondering in the, colleges that do have quote unquote Greek whatever, which Greek life, yes, which I raised my fucking eyebrows at that, but that terminology. Are there really underwear parties? Is that like, does that kind of stuff? I know in season 1, I think they go to a naked party, and that's like, okay, it's just being hyperbolic, and
I love the naked party, by the way.
Yeah, no,
she's teaching her how to be subtle about it. Like, no, you look
totally,
yeah.
No, that was great. But then, so that one, like, obviously, no. The underwear party, I'm like, does that really happen?
I think they do
I'm sure it does.
I'm sure they have theme parties in the Greek. Yeah, like they have theme parties.
Even like Greek life. Like, how many weird parties did we go to in college?
That's
like,
true.
Ton.
But ours were also like theater related.
Not all of them, though. I feel like I went to other parties that weren't theater parties. I mean, yes, the majority of them were.
Like, we were fucking weird.
I definitely went to like an anything but a clothes party. Like,
anything but clothes party. Yeah, clever. Yeah,
that's true. We did go. Yeah, you're right. No, they yeah. I think that a lot of it is obviously sitcomed up.
Yeah.
But it's all based in reality, like things
that's wild to me.
And I could see like the more like rich kid colleges having theme parties where like the students would have the resources to do things like
Yeah.
It's true. I feel like I went to Harvard a few times to a friend of ours from college had a high school friend that went to Harvard, so we would go and just like some of the parties that they would have would just be like
crazy.
Just weird.
Yeah.
Like, just like bizarre. Like, oh, rich, smart kids like, just have a weird idea of what fun is.
Yeah. It's a different planet.
Yeah. Yes. Very different planet.
I do just have to say, just because again, like the frat stuff, like was really a lot in the first episode. How fucking weird is it? I would love to know the origins, and I'm sure I could just Google them. But how fucking weird is it that they just take some letters from a Greek alphabet and then they call it Greek life, and they go around saying, you're in like alpha, pi, delta, whatever. Like, can we just pause for a moment and think about how fucking weird that is? If they had taken some other form of writing, like
I'll Google it.
would it be, Japanese life? Like, that has a different ring to it. If you just had these Japanese characters and we're like, oh, this is Japanese. Like, what? And like the actual fraternities and sororities, like they have absolutely nothing to do with Greece. It's just and then I think of like exchange students who come from Greece. And so like, wow, this is fucking weird.
The first known fraternity was founded in 1776 by John Heath, a student of at the College of William and Mary. He had gotten rejected by 2 Latin secret societies on his campus, so he decided to. So apparently, it was.
Yeah. So it was kind of like a big middle finger.
It was a big fuck you to Latin.
Well, if I can't be part of your Latin club, I'm going to pick some other.
Yeah. So he decided, along with some friends, to create the
ancient romantic language.
Yeah, it was like, fuck your Latin. I'm doing Greek.
Right.
That's way more complicated.
He was like, you know how they have Orthodox Easter? Well, this is my version of secret societies.
And joke's on them, because apparently that's the one that stuck.
Stuck, yeah.
So he decided, along with some friends, to create the first collegiate Greek letter society, Phi Beta Kappa. So, and this was a time when study...
He would be appalled to see what Greek life has become now.
I don't know. If he was that, wild enough to start his own secret society, he might,
Fair, he might be into it.
The inflation of John Heath in real time 2023. He might be like, this was my journey. This is where I wanted it to end.
My people, my legacy.
But why is there an offshoot with women?
Yeah, right.
Because feminism, Shandy.
Right. Because
we have to pick a new alphabet. Greek life has gone woke.
I bet that anyone that nobody in a fraternity or a sorority could even say the Greek alphabet. And I sure as fuck couldn't, but I don't
Jay can do it. He learned it. Yeah, he learned it in like a rhythm, the same way we learn Alabama, Alaska, Arizona. So he can do the whole Greek alphabet. He just has to.
Was he ever in a fraternity?
Nope.
See,
just
there we go.
Just an interesting hobby.
Just an interesting hobby.
But it's proven my point. The only person that we collectively know who can actually say the alphabet in Greek was never in a fraternity.
The people that I know, as adults who were in sororities, especially down here, they really still love their, they treat it like a, what's the word? Like a social...
any other club. Like any other, social club.
They kind of treat it like a sorority, I guess. It's
the best days of their lives, and they can't grow.
No. I mean, they go to reunions.
Yeah.
They go to reunions, and they're really big on networking, professionally. Because the whole thing is their whole
mentorship,
thing. Yeah, they have
community service.
So it's like an elitist system that just remains. Even,
but I think it depends.
I think it totally depends.
I think if you're thinking of sort of in the way it's sort of framed in the series, like a Kappa that is very affluent and very white. That yes, but I think I think there's a big in historically Black colleges, there's a very enthusiastic Greek life, and that takes on a very different meaning and a very different context.
Yes.
So I think it's anything, for all the problematic parts of it, there are shades of gray.
So Kamala Harris, because she went to a HBC, right?
I believe so. Did she? Let's Google it.
Yeah. She did. I'm pretty sure.
I don't feel like that's. I don't want to speak incorrectly.
She was in Alpha Kappa Alpha. It's one of the 9 college-founded Black sororities and fraternities. And I should have said HBCU, but I stopped my sentence short because I was reading at the same time, and I can't read and talk, which is weird because I can really talk at any point.
She did graduate from Howard.
Yeah. I think just like with any club or extracurricular activity, sororities and fraternities are, whatever you want to get out of them, and they all have different objectives and whatnot.
Yeah, and they're not all the same, but they have they can be a source of good, but they collectively have a pretty bad reputation, not for nothing.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Both of those sentences are true.
Yes. Yeah, without a doubt. Okay, so back to Sex Lives of College Girls.
Yeah.
Before we move on, let me just say, if you don't want to get spoiled, this is where your journey ends right now.
If you don't want to get
See you
spoiled,
next
why
week,
did you click
folks.
on this episode?
Because we're going to get spoilery. So here is your warning. All right, so favorite things about this season? I think it took way too long for Alicia to get back into the picture, but that's okay.
I agree. Because then it did feel like they were just kind of shoehorning it in, where like I would have appreciated that build
Yes.
to happen. Like I would have enjoyed a longer arc of that. I was like glad we got there, but it felt a little rushed. I would have liked a little more time.
But I really enjoyed the whole coming out stuff with Leighton.
Me too.
I loved how she told her dad. I thought it was really actually hilarious that she found someone who was just like a snobbier version of herself to fall in love with. Like, I thought that was really, what did they call that? Your
doppelbanger. Well, and it's like, and it makes me wonder, like as, a cis heterosexual white woman, like I wonder, is that a real thing or is that just like a joke that they made up for the show? It's brilliant. It's very funny, but like, is that a real thing?
I believe the co-showrunner, is it Justin Noble?
Yes.
I follow him on Instagram, and he's flaming. So I wonder if a lot of
in reality.
Yes, I wonder if a lot of that stuff does I'm assuming the writer's room is also equally diverse.
I would hope so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think we would have heard about it if it had not been.
Yes.
Anyway, I really enjoyed the whole doppelganger thing. And I thought it was interesting that they kind of made her likable up until they needed to dump her, and then all of a sudden she wasn't likable again. And I thought that was kind of forced.
Agreed, because you were like laying all this track, and it really almost felt like they were like, oh great, the actress that plays Alicia is free again. Okay, let's change directions and write her back into the show because we didn't want to lose her in the first place. But like she got booked in another show and was unavailable, so they had to write her out, and they're like, oh boy, we can write her back in. Quick, let's figure this out.
Yes. But I did like the stuff with the Women's Center at the end. Like the characters all felt, oh, we've got Alina.
Yeah, we've got cats chasing each other. Sorry.
Aww,
sweet.
Try to mute. Yeah.
Women's Center. Yeah, we love that kind of stuff. It's a Women's Center up here.
Yes, it is.
I really enjoyed how I loved how Leighton went back in and still knew how everybody ticked and knew how to talk to them all and was like making bids. I thought that was really sweet.
Yeah.
Really, I liked her arc. Speaking of actors that were unavailable, I did miss Nico. I'm not gonna lie.
Oh, yes, he was great.
Yeah, I did too. The neighbor was like a fine substitute, I guess.
Okay, the whole joke about him being a climate refugee is so ridiculous.
Yeah,
but very on brand for that show.
Yeah.
But ridiculous at the same time. Yeah. Do we want to go down? I liked how they brought in more of the supporting characters too. Like Leela had a bigger part.
Yeah. That was a note I wanted to bring up, that I liked that there was more.
Yes.
Leela, like that we started to grow her character. I still think she could be a little expanded upon more. Like I want to get to know her more.
Yeah.
I think she's still like a tiny
season 3.
Yeah, she's not like one note, but she's like 2 notes, and I feel like she's like a whole octave, and I want to explore her more.
Definitely is a whole octave. We're getting more of Kanan though.
Yes, I like Kanan.
How do we feel about Kimberly continuing to fuck every hot guy on campus?
I don't like it.
Yeah, no, I think Kimberly's the fucking worst. Like, I like her, and she's the one that like at the beginning of season 1, she's the one that like. Sort of, I was gonna say more normal people, but that's
you're supposed to root for her because
people who aren't like super rich like me, I can identify with her more.
Yeah,
and now you're like, oh, you suck. You're just like she's like selfish and doesn't think of others. And I really I don't think that just because somebody dated somebody else that person is like forever off limits. You know, like I don't subscribe to that sort of philosophy, but you do have to think about people's feelings, and if they're your like best friends, and it's recent and
fresh.
like,
And also,
come
like,
on. It's like, and maybe this is also going back to like people in their, you know, late teens, early 20s. Cause I was going to say, like, there's so many people, like, you can just have a crush on somebody else. Like, you'll have a crush on somebody different next week. But like, then back then when those feelings feel so intense and like the most important thing in the world, and you're like, no, like, it doesn't matter. It's fine.
Right. No, I
Get
agree.
over it. Choose your friend. God, just be a better friend.
Well, it just like, and it also just like didn't feel earned to me.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
much
the
in the
Kanan
same way of
thing
like
is-
bringing Alicia's character back. Like it felt like it was like 2 episodes, and then all of a sudden, and it just like didn't feel earned. But then it's like, you know, I was
It felt
reading
like-
an interview with the other showrunner with
Is
Justin Noble.
Yeah.
Justin Noble. And he was saying that was a storyline that they always knew they were gonna do. Like they always knew they were going to build the relationship between like Kimberly and Kanan, and it was like, really?
Because I really enjoyed that they were friends.
Me too.
I
like,
really
like,
fucking enjoyed seeing men and women just be friends.
Yes.
Right. It's like hearing him say that was always like an inevitable thing that they were going to explore, and it was like, really? Because it just it's still like, as a viewer, it didn't feel earned to me, and it felt like they wanted to like insert some conflict where there wasn't any.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like to me too. Or if that was inevitable, that and the Alicia thing and some of the other things that happened that we'll get to, kind of felt like they had a checklist of this is what's going to happen in the beginning, this is what we're going to get to at the end. And they kind of ran out of space on the storyboard, and they were like, you know what, let's just hook them up.
Our audience will follow along. We'll just throw in all those great one-liners. We're good on the jokes. People will, and we did, because it's like the arc of the season. Like, I'm on board. I loved it. I enjoyed it. But it's like those little moments. I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah. I love Kanan, but I don't want him to end up with Kimberly, and I hope that is. I hope that's, you know. Yeah.
Well,
they'd only broken up
to
like
see what it does to Whitney and Kimberly's relationship.
Yeah,
because it's like they were clearly fostering like a true friendship, and it's like,
and not only Whitney and Kimberly, but then it's going to be Whitney and Leighton, because didn't Leighton quit the sorority and turn down the social chair and the rooming with, you know, the premium room or whatever, and then Whitney just goes behind her back and is just like, I heard there's a room open. So,
I mean, honestly, I think Leighton will be fine with that.
I agree.
I think out of everybody, Leighton will be fine, but I don't know if it's going to be, you know, an easy resolution where, like, she's mad at first and then by the end of the scene she's fine or whatever. Like,
I mean, seriously, all she has to do is say, like, hey, explain the situation.
Right. Because I think those two characters are much more
that's true. They're more
forward, whereas like Kimberly is very like afraid of conflict, and
that's
that
true.
becomes all the more apparent, which like asks, like, you know, Whitney asks her point blank, like, did anything happen last night? And Kimberly says, no, it's not. It's because she's like afraid of the conflict.
Yeah.
So it's like, you know, I think Whitney and Leighton will be fine. Like, they're both to the point. They'll work out whatever it is. But it's like that's where the sticking.
And I mean, Whitney was already in the sorority, so it's not like she stole something from Leighton. And Leighton said, thanks, no thanks.
Right. She was just taking advantage of an opening.
Yeah.
That's true. You know what was hilarious? Which I totally saw coming. Like, this was the most predictable storyline in the scene with the food workers strike. When the senator comes and she takes the picture. And as soon as she does that, I was like, Jay and I looked at each other like, oh my God, this guy's going to have own slaves. Like, it's going to be a thing. And then it was, but it was actually great.
Yeah, I did like how they maneuvered that.
Yeah. Me too.
Okay, let's move into Whitney and how I was yesterday years old when I learned that the science partner dude is Julia Louis-Dreyfus's son.
Yeah, those
no idea.
Nepo babies, they're everywhere.
Everywhere.
No idea.
But I think that's why he looked familiar, because I have been kind of following along on Vulture's like Instagram, like with their big like Nepo baby thing. So I think I'd seen like he was in it, and I think maybe that's because like this guy looks so familiar. Why does he look familiar? I don't know. I must have seen him in something.
Yeah. But he was fine. I love that his mom was like, yeah, I've watched it. He fucked some girl in the library. That was funny.
Wish Julia Louis-Dreyfus was my mom.
I know, right? No, so the Whitney's arc thing was interesting this season, where she was trying to find herself beyond soccer. And I really liked that they did that with her.
Yeah.
But at the same, and I thought the whole, okay, well, why don't you ask him what was it? Are you going to ask if we're dating or whatever? And I thought that was absolutely hilarious that she realized that she didn't actually want to be dating him.
Yeah.
Like that whole thing was really funny. The friends, I'm blanking on the name. The friend that's in the wheelchair that has the TikTok influencer.
Mm-hmm. Oh gosh, yeah, what's that character's name?
And then the other one, the lesbian, that was like giving Leighton.
The soccer player?
Yeah,
yes.
Soccer player friend?
teammate.
Yeah, she's great, yeah.
Yeah, I love her. I could have more of that character too. I feel like we don't see her often enough.
Yes. I loved when she had Leighton, was it like you can buy me a jacket or whatever if I set you up with her?
Yeah, no, she's great. I'm very happy that Whitney broke up with the science dude, though.
Yes.
But I love that she, like, figured out that she's really good at that.
Yeah.
Well, through, like, lots of hard work. And is going to be, like, a science nerd. I think it's great.
I know, me too.
Well, that felt like a really earned story. Like, it's like, I love when a comedy can really, like, lay some track. Like, it's like that that was the slow burn all season, and it just felt so satisfying.
Yeah, and you know what this show, I think, has done well is when it does like act as a social commentary without hitting you over the head with it. Like the whole storyline with the TA who kept mixing up.
Oh my God, that was so good.
Right?
Yeah.
And it wasn't like a whole big like focus of just kind of, it made its point, and it was enough that you remember that it happened, and it was like a storyline, but it wasn't like 2 episodes dedicated to it.
Yeah.
Wait, I don't actually remember this.
When Whitney's in that class and there's one other Black woman in the class, he keeps mixing them up even when she has like repeatedly corrected him,
and then he keeps crying,
and then she has to like coddle his like white guilt and
literal white tears.
Yes, exactly. No, that was
a nice twist that they made it a man that was crying white tears.
Yeah. I think Whitney had a really strong season.
I do too.
Yeah, I agree.
It's like to both of your point, like there is something refreshing about not every like point needing to be on this very special episode of that. It can just sort of be, I'm coming out. Great, that's awesome. And we move on with the story. It's like,
and I like
dude, I am a separate person from this other woman in class.
Yeah.
And it's a joke, and it's like it's like I think there is.
And I like that the storylines are subtly reinforced by without for lack of a better term, like the Greek chorus. So like the other the other chicks that are in the sorority.
No, I think it's well used. Well used. Continue. Well used pun. Continue.
Like the other women of color that are in the sorority, like that hang out at the house where Kanan lives, where they're like Whitney's like, we're gonna be better friends, and they're like, oh, you have the teacher that mixes you up, and like that's reinforced there, and then with the coming out thing, we have the side characters that are being Leighton's wingman and all that. Do we want to talk about the Bella of it all? Because I did not like Bella. I thought Bella started off so strong, and I really liked the episode at the end where her friend Priya came. Mm-hmm. But I didn't love the rest of her story arc at all.
I thought she was a monster. That was my note on that. But the last scene with her, when she's explaining why she wants to transfer, it was like, okay, you're not a complete monster because you at least like are realizing what you have done. I'm excited to see where she goes in season 3. And I think it was really interesting that they went there, like all of the places that they took her. And I think it can be like a really interesting commentary on like internalized sexism. Everything she went through in season 1 was really fucked up, and then she perpetuates a lot of those things in season 2. I thought it was,
And it was
I thought
also
it was interesting, but I mean, I wasn't happy like to watch her. It's like at every turn, you're like, don't do this,
do it.
and then
Don't do it, Bella. No, stop. No, change the picture.
The interesting layer of that is it's like she's blinded by her own like ambition, that none of it is ever like intentionally mean. Like she's not doing things maliciously. It's like she's just so blinded by her own ambitions to be a comedy writer that like she's not stopping to think about how her actions affect other people negatively, which feels like a very immature thing that a very driven 18-year-old person would do.
That's exactly what I was going to say, is I think that above all, this season really highlighted how Bella is just very immature. Mm-hmm. And where we've seen Whitney grow up, especially after what happened to her in season 1. We've seen Leighton grow up. Like, she's willingly helping out with the Women's Center stuff now.
Yes, exactly.
Kimberly,
we're still waiting on Kimberly. No, she's still
waiting
in,
on Kimberly.
Immature zone too.
She's very I would say, she's very mature. She's like Kimberly reminds me of somebody who was, I mean, we know she was very sheltered and, whatever beforehand, but she seems to me like somebody who had a lot of responsibility growing up and had to be mature, but was mature for the sheltered life that she had versus going out into the real world and like kind of losing sight and just like her immaturity, just like outshining everything else. Whereas Bella, I think maybe she had the same thing. Maybe the difference is that Whitney and Leighton came from cities and had parents that, weren't as involved and active in their lives. So they kind of had more of that like privileged life where they did kind of like what was Leighton talking about, how she was going to bars at like 14 or whatever. Like maybe it was just like difference in their upbringings, but definitely maybe this season was about all Bella's fuck ups. But last season it was all about Kimberly's fuck ups, and she didn't like learn or mature from that. So I don't know.
No, she really didn't. And I mean, being sheltered or growing up not in a city isn't.
It's not an excuse.
Selfish. Well,
right.
It doesn't.
I think it's a personality trait versus like a
It doesn't produce selfishness.
Yeah.
Right. Whereas one could argue that actually, like, having a very privileged life could very easily produce selfishness in somebody who doesn't necessarily think about others' feelings. So,
but that was Leighton season 1, and Leighton
exactly, and
like kind of grew out of it.
Kimberly still has a lot to learn, and I don't know. I mean, because she does kind of like play, not necessarily on purpose, but like the character plays up the sort of like naive, I'm not from here
Kimberly,
of it all,
you mean.
But like
Timothy Chalamet's sister, what's her name?
Yes.
Pauline, who looks like
who looks
totally
even more
different
like
actress.
Yes,
Chalamet.
the Chalamet.
It's as much as I didn't know she was a Chalamet in season 1 until I think one of you pointed it out, and then I was like,
but now with her weight loss,
she looks
very much.
So
much.
Much.
You can't unsee it.
You can't unsee it.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Those cheekbones.
Those cheekbones.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like Bella is somebody who thought she was mature and thought she was grown up and thought like all these things about herself, but really she's learning a hard lesson now that she isn't quite the grown up that she thought she was. But it's also a sign of maturity to want to just like quit and like go someplace else too.
No, and that's what
or it's escaping instead.
But that's what I'm saying. A sign of immaturity. Did I say immaturity?
Sorry,
I'm
I
so
thought
sorry.
you said maturity.
No, immaturity. I apologize.
Okay, we're in agreement here. Okay.
But I like that she faced, not even if she's not like facing it with her friends, she is at least telling somebody, like she can narrate what she did wrong, which means that she can like sit back and look and realize like, oh, I did all of these things wrong. So that gives me hope for her in the future, because really by the end of the season, you just like don't like her at all. And that last scene with her really brought it back to, because she was like my favorite character.
Yeah.
Love Bella.
Even in the
In
beginning.
the sense that she doesn't like herself in that moment either, which
Yeah.
is sort of why you sort of think that it's like, it's not done maliciously. It's like she just can't help herself. And then she steps back and is like, oh gosh, like there's a problem here. Like I keep doing the wrong thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So, and my question is then, how are they going to get her to, like, what's going to be the explanation when, you know, in the beginning of season 3, she's like, oh, surprise, she's still at this school. Like, she decided to stay after all.
I don't know.
You know what I mean? Because
that's how I'm curious to see, because obviously she's not leaving the show. So like I'm very curious to see how they bring her back into the fold.
Or she'll go to a different college for like the first episode and then regret it and then somehow transfer. Like, I don't, you know, well, it'll be interesting to see.
Or like she waited too long to like get the transfer papers in, and so like she like
or her parents wouldn't let her, or I don't know.
Like I'm curious to see how they bring her back, because it's.
And also to see what they do now that basically nobody's going to be living together anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, again, unless, you know, we come back to season 3 and by episode 2, somehow they've all found their way back to each other. But as of right now, nobody's going to be living in the same place. So,
yeah.
Well, I think Leighton said that like she was in on the quad. So I think at least we have like Kimberly and Leighton that would potentially still.
Maybe Kimberly and Leighton. I mean, once Leighton right. I was going to say once Leighton finds out what Kimberly did, is she still good? But yeah, she probably would. It's not her, you know.
Yeah, Leighton's good about staying out of other people's beefs in a way.
Yeah. So maybe the two of them.
Did you guys like what's her name? The dude that Bella was dating / the Catalan
Eric. I really grew to love Eric. I'm so sad.
Me too.
The idea that we're losing Eric makes me very sad.
Same. Agreed. I was like angry for him when because I really grew to like him, really, and I was like, this is really good.
And I thought they were so good for each other, and he was good for her, and I liked the relationship, and it just felt so authentic and real, and
so much potential. And I will say, one of the things that Frank commented watching it was, and he liked it, but he was like, wow, like they really only like men who are like hyper masculine, super muscly, and he was the one exception. And I was kind of like, that's a fair critique. And I was like, okay, what's going on here? Are they purposefully objectifying the men because women are always objectified?
I think so, because how many times do they make comments about it? Like, look at Leela's character and Bella's character. Like, they go out of their way to objectify men. So, remember the whole season 1, Bella's like, I'm fucking a guy with abs. And I'm his chuckle cluck. What is it? Chuckle fuck. There we go. Chuckle fuck. He's a chuckle fucker, and she was an ab banger.
Yeah. But it's true. It's true that all of the guys, though, that any of them fuck, are
true
in that mold. But he was the one exception who was just like kind of like a normal, you know.
Yeah.
Normal. What is normal? Sorry, like you know what I mean. He was like not.
Yeah. No, agreed.
Somebody who looked like he had to spend weeks in the gym before they started filming.
That he doesn't have a side hustle is like in a Magic Mike era, like strip show.
Right.
Was it season 2 or season 1? This is a terrible question. Where? Oh yes. Okay. So I had forgotten that this was a storyline with the egg harvesting, where Kimberly she's going to sell her eggs to pay the tuition. And she goes to her professor's house to ask her to co-sign the loan before.
Which is super inappropriate.
Which is super inappropriate to begin with, because why is a professor going to co-sign your loan?
Why would you feel that it's okay to ask that?
Yeah. But then, plot twist, which we all should have seen coming. The husband, the professor's husband at the dinner party, hits on Kimberly.
Yeah. I think that was like always supposed to be like a storyline to like set up to fail. Like it was always gonna be like, obviously this is not gonna be how she stays here. Like it's just to show that like she had to do a few things to get to.
It was just very random,
Right.
but also
egg
like,
selling.
yeah.
Right. And instead of having a creepy husband, the professor could have just like put up normal boundaries and been like, I'm not comfortable doing that.
Yes. Yes.
And probably you shouldn't ask people that. If you're
Which I
not
think
like
is what
if you're
she
not like
ultimately-
related to them or know them.
Which I think is what she ultimately did, right? Like she was ultimately
Yeah, she
like,
yeah,
she was like I don't feel comfortable about this, but like Kimberly like
Yeah.
jumps to conclusions and it thinks it's because
she was like, I talked to my accountant and it's like not gonna be good for my credit score or something. Because
Yeah.
she'll have a shit ton more debt on her.
Yeah.
on her credit.
Feels like it's probably not wise. No.
No. Yeah. It was, I will say, sorry to deviate, but just while we're on the student loans thing, I sort of loved how Leighton accompanied her to the loan office.
Yes.
And just to like, as somebody with student loans, I was tickled by how much they really, that loan person really wanted to give her a loan, even though it's like, an insane amount of money to give to, basically a teenager. And Leighton, because she's rich, knows the questions to ask.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And even like the interest rates, like, is it fixed or variable? I was like, oh, wow. See, I wish I would have asked that but I didn't know what a variable interest rate was.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And I like that Leighton helped give her shots.
Yeah, no, that was really
drove her
sweet.
to like the actual like have the procedure done. So I liked, where they started, like with all the girls being close. It just all kind of blew up. Oh, and I also
that was all
loved
part of like Leighton's general like growth
yeah.
story. Like it just helped to enrich that a little more. Like I think, you know, to add that extra context of like it's not just like, oh, like they're growing and they're sort of like romantic relationships are forcing them to grow as humans, that like their relationships with each other
Yeah,
are like
I
having
love
a
that.
positive effect on who they're becoming. It's like I think that's an important piece of it.
Yeah, no, agreed. I really loved the fundraiser that they had for the fraternity
pretty funny.
to get them back in. That was really funny. Do you think that Nico will be back next season?
I sure hope so, because he was doing a different project during this season, correct?
Yeah.
And that's why he wasn't on the show.
Yeah.
So hopefully he'll come back. But they said that he was in his senior year. So
Also, like once you're expelled, like,
you can't really come back.
True. Well,
yeah, but he sort of can't undo that. Like, I mean, I suppose it could be like a guest star.
A year long.
Like he could sort of pop in.
He could
for
come
an episode
visit.
Here
Yeah,
or there.
he can come
Exactly.
Visit
but,
his
like,
sister. Now that he's in grad school at the whatever school is like, in the next town over or something.
Yeah. What about what's her name? I am really winning tonight. It will come back to me.
Keep talking around it. We'll help you.
I just completely lost. Oh, okay. Well, I'll go back. I'm sure maybe moving on with my thought will help me go back to my other one. What about Eric? You think we'll see Eric again? Part of Bella's growth?
He seemed pretty adamant about like lose my number and like he has no other ties to the story.
True.
Where someone like a Keenan like had other ties to our story.
Yeah,
to, like,
that's very true.
A part of the cast.
Priya.
But, like, Eric is very separate. So like
also it would be nice for Bella to learn to accept somebody's no.
Yeah, I agree. I think we all have to take the hit on that one.
Yeah. I know.
Which
fuck
sucks.
you, Bella.
I mean, it sucks for us as the viewer too.
Yeah.
But, actions have consequences. And I think that's, I think you're right.
Do you think Priya will be a bigger part of season 3 since she's coming to the school, right?
Oh,
interesting.
Maybe.
I kind of hope so.
Me too. I liked her.
Yeah.
Me too.
All right. So I think, does anybody have any last thoughts for initially what we have? Because we have a ton of feedback that we can get into, and I'm sure that will also spur other conversation as well.
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, all I had as notes was the student loan stuff. Are there really underwear parties in college? Bella's a monster. Chalamet is awful. That's the entirety of my notes, and we've covered them all.
All right.
Great.
Very good then.
Check.
Also, more Leela all the time. Every time she made a joke, I loved it.
Yeah, I need more of that.
Every time she objectified somebody that Kimberly was having sex with, it was hilarious. All right, let's take a quick break, and then we'll come back, and we will do the feedback. All right, we're back. We're ready to hear what you guys thought about the sex lives of college broads. I mean, girls. Mine was non-existent. Okay, let's see. We're going to start with Matt, because we always save your emails for last, Matt. We're going to go get right on it tonight first. Here we go. All right, so Matt has to say, the subject is The Sex Lives of College Girls Season 2, Quick Thoughts. And Matt says, "Hey, broads, I did a quick rewatch of the last 2 episodes since I haven't seen the show since it aired. So this may be more of a collection of quick thoughts than a complete review. I really enjoyed this season. The chemistry of the core 4 has really gelled and allowed them to give the great supporting cast a chance to shine, like the show's secret weapon, Leela." We were just talking about that.
Agreed. Matt, we agree on this.
Paragraph 1, check. Simpatico. It was an interesting choice to have first season breakout character Bella screw over almost all of her friends outside of the main 4. I wonder where the transfer reveal is going for season 3. Check. So did we.
Us too. Still in sync.
Also, super proud of Bella for not being the one to accidentally out Leighton, which I totally thought could be a possibility for happening this season. Also surprised they didn't contrive a way to keep the 4 together. It almost felt like a finale, which, considering what's going on at HBO Max, isn't out of the realm of possibility. Luckily, it was renewed for now. Fun fact, the actor who plays Andrew is the son of Brad Hall and Julia Louis-Dreyfus. Check!
We know!
In other casting trivia, for those of us who've been watching the God of War Ragnarok, one of Eric's dads is played by the guy who played Sindri. No, but it is on my list, actually, to watch that.
That was a whole bunch of words.
Right.
I think it has to do with
Ragnarok.
Thor, right? Ragnarok was a Thor thing. I loved that movie. Taika Waititi, man. He can do no wrong in my book.
Oh.
Directs a mean movie. Very funny.
Yeah, so God of War Ragnarok, I believe, is... it's a video game.
Oh.
But isn't there a TV show? I'm gonna look it up real quick. Oh, it's a video game. That's a PS3 game. Okay, so that's not on my list to play. I thought that there was also a TV show that was that too, but I guess I'm wrong. But now we all know he's been playing that, so cool. Did anybody actually do one of those group sprints in their underwear, or is that a thing that only happens in TV and movies about college? Okay, Matt, were you listening to our conversation before?
Before they happen?
Oh my goodness. I was never aware of anything like that at my college, although there was a streaker during the screening on the quad of Spider-Man. This is amazing. Like, Matt is very in sync with us tonight.
Yes. It's like we synced up.
Well, it was nice.
Our critiques.
Vitally, yeah.
Our critiques synced up, yes.
Our critical cycle has sank.
Sank.
Yes.
Like the Titanic?
Yes. The Titanic sank or sunk?
Sink, sunk.
Sunk. Dude.
Yep.
To finish...
Back to Christmas movies. It all comes around.
You always pick up what I'm putting down.
While it was nice to have them put out 2 episodes a week when it aired, it did not alleviate my fears that this would be a part of the great HBO Max purge. Looking forward to season 3, but also hoping they don't suck and shelve it for a tax write-off. Matt. Me too. But I feel like this is one of those shows that has a very good chance of being picked up by another network, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, given that like Mindy Kaling has deals with Netflix, like I feel like it could get shopped somewhere else.
Yeah. I will say, speaking of Mindy Kaling, randomly,
Velma sucked.
Over the past week or two, I started watching The Mindy Project because I'd never seen it.
Oh, how is it?
I had to stop.
Really?
I mean, parts of it are kind of funny. It did not age well. It is so fucking fat phobic in every single goddamn episode that I had to be like, I'm done.
I never
I was
seen Mindy
disappointed.
Project either.
Oh, it's a bummer.
That is a bummer.
Yeah. I haven't watched it. So yeah, same.
I didn't make it out of season 1, so maybe it gets better. I don't know. But it's like one of those things where you're like, oh, probably I would have laughed at more of this had I watched it in 2012 or whenever the fuck it came out. But we've all moved on.
All right, good to know.
Yeah.
Not that I ever had it on my list, but if I were ever to, I will not now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Matt. It's always nice to be in sync with you.
Hear, hear.
Our next email is from Kayla.
All right. Kayla writes in, hello, broads. Here are my thoughts on season 2. I was once again sad to see Pauline Chalamet, Kim, had lost so much weight for the season. I'm really hoping she wasn't pressured by anyone to do so. It was nice seeing someone who wasn't a stick in sex scenes for once. I have to just pause and say, yeah, it's like I didn't want to say it on the episode because I don't want to shame her either way, because I don't want to comment on her weight. But I agree. I did have that thought of like, hopefully she wasn't pressured. How could you not be pressured, you know? But I agree. It was really nice to see somebody who is not a stick before. And
well, but Leighton's also
Leighton's like, not
beautifully
a stick.
curvy.
Yeah.
Yes. True. But, you know, anyway. Okay. So Kayla continues. Leela is still my fave. She had the best lines of the season, hands down.
Oh, we didn't even talk about how Leela is in the female Catullin. What's it called?
Yep.
Right,
yeah, I loved that. Like, I feel like that was one of the few moments of like Bella doing something good.
Yeah, like that was awesome. Okay, sorry.
She was, you know, she was riding high until she crashed and burned.
Yeah.
Love Jocelyn as well, and hope they feature her more next season.
That's it.
That's the TikToker in the wheelchair.
There we go. As much as I miss Nico, I did end up liking Climate Refugee's character, and that ultimately he was a good dude. Plus, was always nice to look at.
Fair.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Fair critique.
Love everyone's support of Leighton coming out, especially her dad, since his reaction was so similar to my dad's after my post in October coming out publicly. I had told my parents several times before, including right after Cheeto Face was elected, but it had always seemed like they just conveniently forgot with the heteronormative comments they would make. So that was really nice to see that representation of positive reactions to someone coming out.
Aw, heart.
Yeah.
Hand heart.
I liked
Can't
it.
see this.
I also liked her mom's reaction to her, but that also kind of felt like it doesn't jive with what we've seen of this character before.
It didn't.
But I'll take it. But okay.
But you know, I think it surprised Leighton, and I think that just goes to show that sometimes people can surprise you. You might be nervous because you know how they are, but you know, people can. Once in a while, people can surprise you.
They can.
Yeah.
Maybe the problem is she was so one-dimensionally awful before that.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's because we were seeing her busy trying to eye fuck her son.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Oh my god, that is still that text message conversation at the dinner.
It's so great.
Is she trying to fuck her son?
So great.
It's so funny.
So great.
That's like the best part. Great payoff.
That's really good.
Okay, sorry.
Kayla continues, loved Leighton and Kim's friendship this season with the shots and taking Kim to get her eggs removed. Kayla's also reading our minds.
I know.
It was really cute and heartwarming to see how far they've come. And once again, a nice reprieve from the trope of always pitting women against each other. Yes, definitely agreed. For the main fours arcs, I really liked Leighton's arc this season. Hashtag Team Alicia.
Amen.
Whitney's was good besides her anxious attachment / trust issues with Kanan. Also loved how they handled the racist TA. Kim's arc was going so well up until Kanan, which I felt like their chemistry wasn't all there.
It wasn't there at all.
Gone there.
No, it wasn't. It was friendship.
Them.
It was friendship. Yeah.
Since I really liked them as friends. Seemed very out of character for her to do that too, since she's such a loyal friend. I know him and Whitney were broken up, but that's always messy with friends' exes.
I don't think that's out of character for Kimberly anymore, because
because she's kind of awful.
Yeah, like she kind of keeps doing this stuff.
Right. She is very drawn to a washboard ebb.
Yeah.
She just can't help herself.
Yeah.
But don't forget, she was fucking Nico behind Leighton's back last season.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. That's true.
Yeah. And Bella. Oof.
Ooh, yeah.
She really took a turn this season and just spiraled out of control. While she was my fave the first season and still loved a lot of her lines this season, it was so hard to watch her make these poor decisions / how she treated people. It was still sad to see her ask for a transfer at the end of the show. Loved the short
King.
Loved the Short King episode, though. Yes, yeah. She loved herself a Short King.
She loved herself a Short King.
Yeah. Overall, I thought it was pretty good. Not as good as the first season, I think, because there was a lot of unnecessary drama / don't like what they did with Bella and Kim's characters. But I still enjoyed it and thought it was just as funny. It will be interesting to see what they do next season with all those cliffhangers, though. Love y'all, Kayla.
Kayla basically read our minds, too.
Yes.
Somebody should show this episode, make somebody that is a part of the team at this show. They should listen to this episode, because when we say people are saying, multiple people are saying the same things about this episode.
They really are.
Independent of each other.
Indeed.
Anyway, thank you guys for that. We had some let's do the voicemail from Maggie. We have some facey back. If there's time, we'll do it at the end. Otherwise, we can save it for our first normal episode back, which we'll be recording on Tuesday, February 7th, with special guest Franck. As promised to the patrons, he's going to join us for a couple of minutes to tell us about his Sundance experience. Have we asked him yet officially?
I talked to him on the phone.
Okay. Sure. Cool. Like, does he know that he's been volunteering?
Does he know he's been in...
Tell him we just 15 to 20 minutes of his time, and then we'll let him
so
get
in
back
broadcast
to life.
time, that's 35 minutes.
Right.
Well,
he'll be here. It's fine.
Okay, cool.
He'll be happy to hang out.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so we've got 2 voicemails from Maggie. I believe that they go into each other. So
That's what she said.
That's what she said. Well, then let's go.
Hey Amanda, Shandy, and Colleen. It's Maggie. Time to say hello. And a few things, if I remember them all. First question is, should I read Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret, before watching the movie? I have never seen it. I don't know why. I like Judy Blume. I like another book of her books, but I never read Are You There, God, It's Me, Margaret. I waited. I'm on hold for it at the library. Not too long. But I'm not getting it tomorrow either. So I was like, well, should I wait, watch the movie, and then read the book? So it's really kind of weird that I haven't read that one yet. As for TV shows, if you are not watching The Last of Us, oh my God, it's so good. 2 episodes have aired so far. It's really good. A little creepy. But I can deal with it. I have a blanket to cover my eyes when I need to. Very excited about a few of the shows. Agatha's show. There's another one now. I can't remember what it was. But yeah, there's very exciting shows coming out. The Mandalorian wasn't on the list that you mentioned, which I'm excited about that. And I have another TV show to watch on Apple. It's on Apple TV Plus called Bad Sisters. There's 5 sisters in Ireland, and one of them has an awful husband, and the other sisters decide that the husband needs to die. So it's kind of the chick's Goodbye Earl situation in a TV show.
I'm literally writing that down right now.
It's really fun. And yeah, I don't think I've ever wanted a character dead as quick as I did with this guy in this show. You're 5 minutes in and you're like, oh yeah, you need to. You are the worst. So yeah, I'm excited to try to keep up with all the things that are coming out new, all the things that you ladies are going to be talking about. I could get a list of all of the stuff what's coming out in the shows, because I listen and then I'm like, wait, what should I watch? I do try to keep up. I'm not always the best at it. But yeah, I'm going to go see Everything Everywhere All at Once tonight at the movie theater. By the time everybody hears this, it'll be too late, but because it got nominated for like 11 Oscars this week, so they put it back in the movie theater, and I'm very excited.
Oh,
Because I've been wanting to see it for a while.
Oh.
So, hope you ladies have a good show.
Oh, here's part 2.
Hey, Broads, it's Maggie again. I swear I was almost done. Okay, I did want to add to the haircut debate. I do not shower right after a haircut because they style it nicely, and I want to take that as long as I can because my hair does not do what I want it to do, but it listens to a hairdresser. I don't know why. So yeah, sorry, Shandy. Yes, I think that's it. I think I forgot some other things I was going to say. If I think of them, I will call you back. So, as I was saying before, Colleen, have a wonderful time in Germany, and I can't wait to hear about it. And everybody else, have a good few weeks, and I'll talk to you soon.
Bye-bye. So much good stuff in that voicemail, Maggie. I hope you enjoyed the movie. I've been telling these ladies for like 7 months to go see Everything Everywhere All at Once.
I started it.
Yeah, I do really want to see it. It just it just hasn't worked out yet.
I know, and it's definitely one you have to be awake, you need to be sober, and you need to be paying attention.
Yeah.
Well, it's still dry January, so.
Now's the time.
Yes, you should definitely read Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret first. It's a not even a YA book. It's a tween book. You can read it in a day.
It's a quick read.
Yeah. The Last of Us, definitely on the list. I'll probably wait till there's a bunch more episodes out, just because you guys know how I really hate having to do, like, weekly. It's just so, There was a request by Matt for us to watch it and talk about it, but I don't think that I'm gonna go out on a limb and say The Last of Us may not be your jams.
What's it about?
Zombies.
Not exactly my jam. That's accurate.
Okay. When we watch it, I'll let you guys know if it's something that I think that you guys would be able to, like or not, like would be able to watch without turning it off after like 5 minutes.
I don't know if I've ever watched one of the zombie things.
I never watched Walking Dead. Ever.
Shaun of the Dead. Big fan of Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, Shaun of the Dead is
I have
fun.
seen Shaun of the Dead, but I feel like
funny.
that's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else did she... Oh, Bad Sisters. Never heard of it, but I'll check it out at some point.
No, me neither.
Haircut debate. Sorry, Shandy. Maggie's on our side.
It's okay.
And then, so she asked... Did she ask for a list of what's coming up on this...
Yes.
Okay. So I had this pulled up to talk about in the beginning, but I totally forgot. So let me do this real quick. Thank you, Maggie, for that awesome voicemail. We super appreciate it, and we'll talk to you next time. Okay, so we'll be back. Normal episode February 7th. On Sunday, February 12th, it's episode number 300, so we are going to do a champagne brunch. I think time to be determined, or are we thinking like 11-ish? What time? Eastern? Okay, so tentatively morning-ish Eastern time, late morning, on Sunday, February 12th. So we'll celebrate 300. Or we do Lucille Bluth. A Jean Parmesan. And then on Tuesday, February 14th, we're going to be recording an episode talking about Wednesday, the Netflix TV show, and that will air on February 24th. So between February 14th, we're not recording another new episode again until Thursday, March 2nd. And then it'll just be a regular episode on March 14th. We'll be talking about Now and Then and Stand By Me. On April 11th, Yellow Jackets Season 2. And then May 9th, Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. And then The World Is Our Oyster.
So exciting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yay. Oh, and then, technically the following week, we would all hopefully be here at the same time for the the podcast meetup weekend. I don't know if we're going to do a live show or not.
What is meetup weekend? I don't actually have
The
it on my
19th.
calendar.
It's the 19th. So,
Okay. All right, I'll figure that out.
yeah. And, every week I've been trying to post the episode stuff to my personal blog too. And I have a list on there. So you can, not to like pimp my shit or whatever, but like it's on there. This list is what I'm reading it from because I wrote it out today and like did it in a bullet point and whatnot. So you can always use that as a reference or write it down. Go back 2 minutes and write down what I just said. Maybe I will also put in the Facebook group too, if I can remember to do that. But yeah, good talk, ladies. Lena, did you like Sex Lives? No, you weren't here for Sex Lives of College Girls Season 2. She'll have to tell us what she thinks of Wednesday.
Oh, that's going to be right up her black cat alley.
Right up her black cat alley.
Oh my gosh, guys, I am into it. I am enjoying Wednesday. I cannot wait to talk about it.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Not that I think I wasn't going to enjoy it, but like I'm glad I'm finally watching it. I'm very much enjoying the ride is what I'm trying to say.
Do you agree with my original assessment that it is Sabrina meets Harry Potter?
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. On that note, everybody, thank you for listening. We will hit up the Facey back when we get back, since that's more general. So anybody that did not listen to this episode now, because they didn't want to be spoiled, they won't miss out on the general Facey back. So we will save that for the next episode. Thank you all, though, for that. If you have any other feedback to leave us, thebroadcasters3@gmail.com. You can leave a voicemail like Maggie did, 331-276-2373, or any of the Facebook groups. We've got the patrons one, the regular Jay and Jack one, and then there's a broadcast Facebook page, too, that I have been trying to post you twice a week as well. So anywhere you want to leave us feedback, go for it. Check out the Instagram. We've got cat videos now. It's great. Super great.
Yeah, we're on our way to going viral.
Woohoo!
I know. I was going to say, at what point is it considered viral?
I don't know.
There is
I've
there
never
is a
been
point,
viral.
and I don't know it off the top of my head. But like the industry I work in, there is like what you consider viral, and I can't remember.
Okay.
I'll look into it.
Oh,
It's maybe a few more, but we'll see. We'll see where it's at tomorrow.
I think technically, at what it's at 13.
cool.
Let's see.
While you're looking up that, sorry, I forgot to mention February 7th, we need to be live for the Hangout level patrons. So if you are a Hangout level patron, February 7th, as long as I've got a plane that came back and landed me on time on the day before.
Well, let's hope so.
Fingers crossed.
Exactly.
13,586 views, 927 likes, hearts,
I think
33 shares,
For us,
85.
for us,
That's huge.
We can consider that viral for us.
Yeah.
I think it is a bit on like a sliding scale.
You know, I've never seen the Ramblecast get that many likes or views.
Hey.
All right.
Who knew? Kittens, man.
Kittens,
I mean,
man.
everyone knew. Everyone knew. It's no secret that people like cat videos on the internet. But yeah, wow.
Yeah. All right. So, on that note, everybody, if you'd like to become a patron and join us live at the Hangout level on February 7th, patreon.com/Jay and Jack. Otherwise, get your Wednesday watching in and get us that feedback by the 14th. If you have any other feedback, again, I just said it like a minute ago, where you can send that feedback to. Yeah, okay. Do I have anything else? Did I get everything? Oh, thank you to the patrons, especially the ones that contribute a certain level. And that would be Eckhart Rigner, Maggie the Magnificent, Joanne with a Plan, and Ed the Creepy Poopy Head Mailman. Yay! Thank you guys. All right. On that note, for real, thank you for listening. We'll see you next time. My name is Colleen.
My name is Amanda.
And I'm Shandy.
Peace out. Or
Bye.
am I supposed to say like Guten Tag? Does that mean thank you or hello? What does that even mean? I don't even know. Hello. Oh.
Good day.
Danke
day.
is thank you.
Danke. How do you say goodbye?
Auf Wiedersehen.
Tschüss.
Auf Wiedersehen. Goodbye. I'll let you know next week. All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.